Hello Year 10, welcome to your English lesson for this week. Another slightly different lesson to what we've been doing recently again. Today we're going to be analysing quotes. So what I've done is about 15 key quotes and then I've put annotation questions around the edge. You've got two options of how you can tackle this lesson today. You can find the key quotes in your copies of A Christmas Carol and then add to your annotations on that. Or if you want to grab yourself some paper or on the back of your fact sheet, if you've got any room left on there to write your notes, then go and do that now. Pause it if you need to, otherwise we can move on. Right, so what I've done here then is I've just put a quick table of all the characters that appear in each stage, just so you can talk about the events when they appear. I've been talking about the 5-point plan quite a lot in the last couple of lessons. And if you remember, I'm talking about those 5 points that a character or a theme can appear throughout the whole of the text. If you've not already got this written down, then it might be worthwhile either, what you could do actually is create a poster of this and have it up on your wall, and then with some key quotes around it if you wanted to. But an additional task, what you can do, either now you can pause it, or if you've got a little bit of free time later on, is to look at when these characters appear, find an example or a quote that shows their behaviour, and then you can start seeing that character's journey throughout the text. Okay? Right, the first quote that I want you to be focusing on then, and this is fact 1, so you've already got this one written down. Now if I was you, I'd turn back to page 2 of your Christmas Carol text, and then I would be using those question prompts that I've put around on the screen to help you add to any annotations that you might have missed. But basically I want you to focus on the connotations of the word tight-fisted, and then looking closely at the word grindstone. So what does the word grind suggest about the work he expects Bob to complete? Now controversially, I'm not going to give you answers as such to this. The reason being is that because I feel that we've done the annotations in enough detail for you to be able to do this yourself. But what I'm also conscious of is that if I keep spoon-feeding my ideas, then you're not really going to be expanding your own understanding. So if you do want to send me through any of the ideas that you've got for each of the quotes that we go through today, you can do. You can either email them to me or put it on the Teams. But otherwise, have this confidence, look back through the notes that we've done together and start expanding and developing your own knowledge and your own personal opinion to each character. So pause it and have a go at annotating that for me, please. This is the second quote that I want you to find. It's still in that same extract, so solitary as an oyster. To be honest, you could probably do this without even looking at your annotations. It's one that I've mentioned quite a few times, but it's just digging deeper and analysing those different layers of the text a little bit more. So pause it, go back to page 2 and add to your annotations. The next quote is from Stave 3, it's Scrooge in the middle of the story then. It's about page 49 in yours, and it's fact 2 on your fact book. So think about the tone that Scrooge is using here, and in your own opinion, what has caused the change in his attitude, okay? This one then from Stave 4, this is what he says to the ghost of Christmas yet to come. It's his final sort of desperate plea to show that he's a changed man. So have a look at these ones that I've highlighted here. So when he's saying he's going to live in the past, present and future, what does that actually mean? And when he says try, those of you that are aiming a little bit higher, why does he say try rather than will? So what does that tell you about him there? And then overall in this quote, what do you think Dickens' intent is here? So what message is he trying to give the reader? So pause it, find it in your texts, and then add to your notes, please. The next one, which is Scrooge at the end of the story, this is your fact 3. This is at the beginning of Stave 5, when he wakes up as a changed person on Christmas Day. So again, have a look at the annotations that I've put around there to help you develop your understanding of this quote. So pause it and then add to your annotations in the text, please. Thank you. Okay, moving on to fact 4 then. So again, we've probably got this one annotated, so it's just adding to those notes that we did in a previous lesson. So it's Fred's introduction on page 4. We've got the use of the word foil there. I'm not going to explain that one this time. It's on your fact sheet, and you have had questions on that from your mentors as well. So how does this quote show that Fred is the foil of Scrooge? And then looking in particular at the use of the word glow and sparkled. Moving on to fact 5 then, this is Fred in the middle of the story. This is what he says to his friends and family at his Christmas party. So they're all criticising Scrooge, and Scrooge hears their opinions of him. But why does Fred say this? I am sorry for him. Why is he the only person who appears to pity Scrooge? Think about the things that we've been speaking about earlier on in the study of the book, and then also develop it by thinking about what is the most important thing that Fred values. So pause it and add to your notes, please. Alright, with Bob Cratchit then, so fact 6 of your fact book today. Have a look at the use of the word sir, and what tone do you think that Bob Cratchit is using here? And then also develop your understanding of characters and use comparison. So compare Bob's attitude with Christmas and Scrooge's attitude towards Christmas as well. How do they differ? So that's on page 8 of your extracts. This is your fact 7. Your fact 7 key quote, page 42. So this is from the Cratchit family's Christmas dinner. This is actually a key quote that the examiners often pick up on the fact that students don't really understand the language that's been used. Some people go off on one incorrectly and say that they're not a handsome family because they're not good looking, which is a misconception. So I really want you to understand this one. I will pause and then I will explain it just to make sure that you've got that understanding. So hopefully you did answer those questions yourself rather than waiting for me to start speaking. Obviously we've already discussed that it's important for Scrooge to see the Cratchits' lifestyle because this is when he realises in the pivotal part of the story that he's got the money to change their lives, and if he becomes more charitable and generous, then he has got that influence on improving people's lifestyles from the lower classes. One of your facts from earlier as well, if you remember, is that Dickens uses an overly sentimental tone to describe the Cratchit family at this point in the story, and he's using lots of detail to emphasise that Cratchit poverty to support his message and to reinforce this idea that the rich do really need to be helping the poor to help that social reform come about. And then if you go back to your notes from Stave 3, the Cratchits are used by Dickens to show the importance of Christmas. It's showing that idea of the family is more important than finance. You've got emotional wealth rather than monetary wealth. And it's also showing that they are proud and grateful and hard-working, despite that common misconception that Malthus and the other supporters of the Poor Law were saying that poverty encourages idleness. Okay. For this one then, this is on page 40, I think you can work that one out yourself, so pause it, answer those questions. It's just slightly before that quote that we've just done, so I think it's a couple of paragraphs before. And then this is going on to fact 8. So the Ghost of Christmas Past, if you go back to page 20, this is something that he turns around to Scrooge and says. So again, have a go at annotating it using those questions and prompts that I have put on the screen now. This is from the introduction of the Ghost of Christmas Past, so page before on page 19. Again, you've probably got these notes from when we were annotating it in the lesson, but if not, you can expand on them, but also try and, like I keep saying, if you add your own personal interpretation to them, that will show the examiner that you're really engaging with the text, alright? So please pause now and go back through and add your own ideas. This is the introduction of the Ghost of Christmas Present then. As I've just said previously, you've probably got these notes down, but I want you to try and expand and develop your own ideas now using those prompts I've given you. So pause, go to page 34 of your text and add to those notes, please. And then this is your fact 9. Use of symbolism here, don't forget that if you've not got it written down already. But this boy is ignorance, this girl is one, beware of them both. So think about why Dickens makes them children. Think about why the ghost warns Scrooge to beware them. And then also think about what message Dickens is giving So think about those things to develop the ideas that we've already touched upon in an earlier lesson. And then this is fact 10, the final one. Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. This is the introduction of that ghost there. As I've said within the two ghosts, add to the notes that you've made already just to expand on your ideas a little bit more. Right, so I've just gone through and found some additional quotes as well. This is from page 14, it's Marley's ghost, and when he says, I wear the chain I forged in life. So go back through and see if you can use this confidence that hopefully you've got now by annotating that quote. So pause and go back to that one for me, please. Same with Fezziwig, so this is on page 25, taken from Stave 2. Have a look at the introduction of Fezziwig there and use those prompts there to help you analyse that, please. And then finally, have a look at Belle as well. See what she says to Scrooge when she says, another idol has displaced me. So that's on page 28. That's all I'm going to go through today. I know the key quotes are always something that we tend to focus on when it comes to exam prep, and it's certainly that Year 11s in the past have been really worried about. And the question that's often asked is, how many key quotes do I need to know? Now, it's ridiculous for me to say all of it, and that's not possible, because don't forget you've also got your Blood Brothers, your Shakespeare text, whether that's Macbeth or Romeo and Juliet, plus all those poems that you need to know. You can just refer to examples or references from the text, but let's play this one for to its advantage, really. As I keep saying, reading it and listening to it and watching it will help it go in, and the sort of comparison that I've always said over the years is that when you're listening to a song, you listen to it once, and even after that you've started picking up particular words and lyrics from that. And it's the same thing with literature. The more that you read it, the more, even just doing this activity, flicking back through and sort of just skimming and scanning for these keywords in the quotes, it's all helping your understanding of that text. But I would argue that you'll know more than you probably are aware of it. These are the key quotes that I would suggest can be used in any type of essay, whether it's character or theme. So I think this is a really, really good starting point. But what I certainly don't want you to do is to start testing yourself in remembering every single, I think there's been 19 or 20 quotes in this. You don't need to know all those ones. Just use those 10 on the fact sheet as a starting point, and then everything else can build upon there. Hopefully that's reassured you. As I say, if you are really lacking in confidence, or if you just want me to sort of reassure you that your annotations are what you need to be doing, then just send me an email or pop it on the chats, and then one of us can have a look at it. Okay? See you tomorrow for the final lesson. Bye for now.